Hello and welcome to the first round of the AOR PS4 F1 Season 13 Championship. My name is Aarava and I'll be your main commentator today throughout the season as well for all these highlight videos. The last time I was officially involved in AOR was actually as a league racer myself back in Season 8 in the lower tiers, but now I'm happy to be back as the commentator for what should be a great season. And joining me today in the commentary box is Tom.
Yep, hello everyone, hello everybody once again, and we're finally back for yet another season of AOR racing, and here's hoping for yet another cracking season. Also myself, just like Aarav, I was also involved in AOR back in the day in AOR F1 in Season 7 I believe, and you know, I was also making the official highlights back then also alongside Callum or Qualy HD1, and it's all come sort of full circle as I'm now actually just a commentator and something that I've wanted to do for a little while, and I'm actually really forward to Aarav.
Yeah, so before we go on, if you're new to the world of AOR, and specifically this top tier league race on the PS4 side, then please do go check out the pre-season video that you would have seen before to check out and get filled up on all the drivers and their respective teams, and you'll get a better sense of the season ahead that's upon us. But here we are, round one of the season, the Australian Grand Prix, with the reigning world champion Novotank back to defend his title, and a whole gaggle of drivers looking to shine and challenge him. So let's get into this. It's now time for the qualifying comparison.
Here we are then at Albert Park for the first qualifying comparison of the season in the Apex Online Racing PS4 F1 League. And for this one we have the onboard views of last season's 4th place finisher in the championship, Aresi, and also on the right Novotank, the reigning champion of the league. Making their way through the first couple of corners now, Brabham and Jones onto the second of the two DRS straights, down into the heavy brake zone for turn 3. A potential small distraction there for Aresi with a yellow flag, and it does seem that Novotank is ever so slightly ahead, although Aresi taking a wider entry to this corner, maybe carrying a little bit more speed as they now head through the flat out turn 5, pretty easily flat, but you have to get a nice line through there to make it work, and so far in the lap on the freeze frame is pretty much dead equal between these two drivers. Clipping the apex of turn 6 very nicely indeed, and now flat onto the throttle through turn 7 and the long right hander of turn 8. Into another heavy braking zone for Clark, turn 9. Different gear choices for these guys, interestingly, with Aresi going all the way down to 2nd gear to get it turned in, while Novotank stayed in 3rd. And now up through the gears again, and on the freeze frame now you can see that Aresi maybe has gained like a couple of thousand of advantage on Novotank. The lovely turn 11 and 12 is then next up, and an absolutely beautiful line for both of these drivers through there, absolutely nailing both of the apexes without corner cutting as they brake heavily again for turn 13 in 3rd gear, heading into the final few corners of the lap. Which of these drivers will get the upper hand? Nothing separating them as they go flying through turn 14 and into the penultimate corner. Heavy braking again, 1st gear for Aresi, 2nd gear for Novotank, and now opening up the final corner with a wide entry. Who will get the best traction on the front towards the line? DRS wide open as they just keep their foot down and hope for the best. And there we go, Aresi is on pole position by an incredibly small margin of 0.003 of a second ahead of the reigning champion.
Thank you, Fisi, for that qualifying comparison. As you can see, we're just going to run you through the grid, and it's a very tasty one. I've got to say, one of the closest grids in a long while, and the entire field just covered by just under a second, and especially in the top 10, the whole top 10 covered by just half a second. Look at that, the top 3 split by 3,000, so very tasty there, front end of the grid, with Jim Aresi taking pole position ahead of Novotank, with Ali K in the 2nd Mercedes on the 2nd row grid, just ahead of Alex, who's in the 1st of the Renaults. Then Clarky and Big Shot Player taking out the 3rd row on the grid, also very close in the grid between himself and Jay Thorne in the 2nd Red Bull, just behind his teammate who's in pole position. Then Jim Nardi, ex-team also in the 1st of the Williams in P8 there, pretty good job for him. And then on the 5th row we have RBOS in the 2nd Renault, just ahead of the Simple in the 1st of the Force Indian. That covers the top 10 by just over half a second. And then looking at the lower half of the grid, nobody opting for the soft tyre, with RC Wallen taking P11 in the 2nd Williams there, also just within the 6/10 of a second margin. And just overall everybody really close, as you can see, everybody within a second except for Wooly 51 at the back of the grid. Also, I'm low key in the 1st of the Haas cars, 6 tenths behind pole position with his teammate Walsh in 13th place. Very close to 2 Haas drivers there, so that could be a little tasty rivalry for the forthcoming season, with Ferrari fan in the 2nd Force India, also just behind the 2 Haas drivers. Then in P15 and P16 we have Big C and Shelley there in the Ferrari and the Manor respectively, with I Super Scrub in the 2nd Sauber. And then we have both of the McLaren Hondas in P18 and 19, with Jamie just beating his brand new teammate and GP2 champion H Racing Green in the 2nd McLaren Honda, and also both of them just shortly behind the Sauber of our Super Scrub once again. And then finally Wooly 51 rounding up the top 20 for the first race of season 13, and that is the qualifying report done and dusted, and we're now going to move into the tasty part of the Sunday race.
So here we are, it is race time for the opening round of this Season 13 AOR PS4 F1 Championship at the Australian Grand Prix. You've seen the grid, very, very close grid there, Tom, and it should be a pretty damn good one.
Indeed, it promises to be a really exciting race here today, and obviously the main thing on the Sunday is obviously the strategy, what people want to go for, and the most recommended hard strategy is going to be probably the super soft medium, which is I think what most people are going to try and go for, especially considering the amount of people who qualified on super softs on the grid. And I believe everybody's starting on the super softs today, if I'm correct.
Well, the starting grid, obviously, on the grid, everyone would have used super softs. I'm not too sure down the order. Maybe some people have gone for the surprise soft or medium. If someone has started on softs, they could go for the soft medium. That would be a pretty easy one for them to do. Or they could go more aggressive, super soft, soft, then super softs. I doubt many people are going to go for that aggressive as strategy. I think most of the top runners, especially, that have to start on the super softs, will go for that one stop. But it's going to be an interesting one for sure. And also, as always with league racing, especially on these recent F1 games, you know, first lap carnage is going to play into it, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, well, we all know the infamous internet connection issues and you know, past things. But you know, this game has been a very successful game in terms of the return of league racing. You know, in the last few games, there has been a few seasons that have been done on previous games because the actual game at the time wasn't good enough. But this one definitely seems to have a pretty good enough base for this track. And as you can see, just a bit of a circuit guide around this beautiful track. You know, the Australian Grand Prix, personally, one that I really enjoy driving in real life. Hasn't provided great racing, but obviously this isn't real life. This is a game, and anything can happen in the Codemasters F1 game, especially if there's maybe a chance of raining. So who knows what could happen. But obviously, strategy-wise, like you said, two clear options. Obviously, a one-stop or a two-stop. I think the one-stop's going to be the order of the day, but you know, you never know if you're someone like, for example, Novo Tank, who's generally just got a lot of pace in, and you need to do like a quick switch of strategy, and you can probably pull out the bag, then there's an option there for you. But it's definitely promising to be a pretty tasty race, and I'm actually really looking forward to this one, Aarava, now that we're starting to get towards the starting grid.
Yeah, well, we're forming up, obviously, on the formation. Like everyone warm up their tyres, kind of wiggling around, getting the tyre temps in, even though it probably doesn't mean too much for the game. But it's going to be a very good one, and I'm really looking forward to this. So we've got actually RC there. I can see 11th place. Wallen, I think, on the soft tyres. So one soft runner at least, but obviously the top 10 on super soft. So really going to turn one, it'll be a bit of a short run, very tight turn one. So he's hoping, for everyone's sake, there's no contact or anything like that. But they're all forming up now, ghosting through the cars, and we'll get going for this race. And the nerves will start to build for Season 13. It's a very competitive grid here today. So, you know, everyone wants to get off to a good start. We've got plenty of runners on soft tyres, actually. The GP2 champion, H Racing, on soft tyres there, and also Qualy in the manner, forming up the last slot on the grid. So here we go to 5 red lights to the Australian Grand Prix. Round 1 this season, we're underway, and there's a cloud of smoke as everyone gets underway. I think it's been an okay start for Resi as he goes into turn 1 in first place still. The two Mercedes cars go side by side, second and third. It will be Nervo Tank in second, pressurising Resi at this stage. Yellow flags behind momentarily. We've also got Ali going down the inside of Nervo Tank potentially, but it's still going to be a Resi in first place in the first sector, sliding around a little bit, still defending from Nervo Tank. Then we've got a big shot player in the Ferrari going to the inside of RBOS, and there's been contact! Contact there.
Yeah, been contact between the Ferrari and the Renault, so I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll have to look at a replay later on down the line, but now on board with the Haas, and we're going to see now filtering through now into the second sector. Obviously a lot of action going on. Nervo Tank trying to slide up a move on a Resi, but thinking better of it. A little bit of a lock up there from the Red Bull driver into turn 7, I believe. But so far a pretty clean start, I've got to say, and just a little bit of contact with big shot player there on the exit of 5, I believe. But so far so good. Now Nervo Tank all over the back of the Red Bull once again, trying to get past, but no way through. And the Resi under major pressure so far from the reigning world champion, as you can see once again in the Here he goes. He's going to go on the outside.
Side, round the outside. Nervo Tank for the lead. This Grand Prix. Oh, fantastic slide from Resi there. But Nervo Tank into the lead of this Grand Prix early on. Early pressure. We saw Resi locking up. And so Nervo Tank into the lead. Resi still not giving up though, really chucking the rear of that Red Bull out as they go through the final corners. We go down the order now, looking back behind. We've got Ali still in third place in the Mercedes, Clarkey in fourth there. Then you've got Alex in fifth in the Renault. Nervo Tank obviously there with the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Into turn 1 they go. Resi still keeping the pressure on there. And they're all still very, very close together, the top 5. So this is looking like a very tasty thing, as maybe the Red Bull has a tiny look. Nope, not going to make the dive bomb move there. Would have been quite silly of him to do that. And we can see his teammate, Jay Thorne, there in a bit of a Renault sandwich there, Tom. Looking like a little bit of a struggle on the rear end there.
Yeah, just obviously other conditions. You know, the car's a little bit heavy compared to the ideal qualifying situation, but it's definitely going to be a promising battle this race. I think things are looking pretty tasty between the top two currently. I wonder if Ali K can maybe get in the mix, and who knows, maybe a little bit of an early teammate battle here in this race. But Nervo Tank going to be under pressure from Aarava for the foreseeable future. Obviously, Nervo Tank, you know, the reigning world champion. I think he's probably got nerves of steel, and the three-time world champion obviously going to be trying to win this opening race and get himself on the board early on here. But just filtering through now the middle sector so far, a pretty good order in the race, and like you mentioned before, cars quite able to follow quite closely to each other, because obviously this isn't the real life F1 where dirt here is not a problem. But Ali K is going to get a little bit close actually to
yeah, definitely
Aarava by looking at there. So looks like Aarava could be struggling with those tyres early on here, and it looks like the Mercedes early on really setting the pace here, and we're going to have to see what happens, as now I believe Clarkey also just behind locking up there on the Sauber on the left front, so he's looking a bit racy as well there. So this top 5, or you can even say top 6, top 7, looking really close here and really tasty. He's stretching all the way back to, I believe, RBOS, who's the man in 7th place. So the top 7 right now, all pretty much equal gaps across the board here, Aarava.
Yeah, definitely. As it goes into turn 1, Jaythorn, the Red Bull closing up on Alex here. He may actually have a very good run. He's in rich mix here, so getting the slipstream. Will he make a move down the inside? Where's Alex going to go? Alex will defend to the inside. Here goes Jaythorn round the outside. A little bit of contact made there. The hand of anger goes up on the right-hand side in the cockpit, but Jaythorn squeezes Alex out on the left-hand and is up into 5th place. Very nice move here early on. That will get him, see him very good to maybe then go on towards Clarkey. But yeah, as you mentioned, very, very close in this top 6, top 7 really. And Nervo Tank though looking comfortable out front, maybe trying to control this race. Maybe, as he locks up a little bit, and everyone kind of locks up actually. So maybe, perhaps potential to kind of back Aarava up maybe into Ali, to maybe try and use some teamwork there. But at the moment, Aresi's hanging on to the back of Nervo Tank as they go through the high-speed chicane. Maybe gets a good enough exit. We know how good the slipstream is on this game, unlike real life. So we'll see how many moves get made down this back straight as they go and filter through the high-speed chicane. Speaking of the high-speed chicane, on the back of it, we've got Big C now in the Ferrari. Up ahead, you can see Qualy, who's made a fantastic start, actually. He was in last place on the grid, remember? Yeah, he's up in the 10th place.
Yeah, fantastic. And not just that, he's on medium tyres as well, as is also Big C, and all these guys here on the slow compounds. We saw briefly there, a few guys on soft tyres. And yeah, Qualy, just a fantastic start on their medium tyres. So a great job from him there, and a really good start to this race. As you can see now, going to turn 1, Aarava looking very dangerous there, looking very close to Nervo Tank. I think Nervo Tank getting a little bit of a tank stopper on the exit of 1 there, and the Rebel's going to be right on the back of him here into turn 3. Is he going to try and go for the move around the outside? Nervo Tank trying to squeeze him to the inside. Is he going to go for it, Aarava around the outside? He thinks about it, but he just can't pull the move off there. But these two, I think, are being for a very tasty battle all race long, and that's we now got both the Renaults also scrapping out, and now we're on board with Big C.
Here goes the Ferrari.
Contact on the grass. I think the Haas has gone off on the track on the left-hand side, and that's let a couple of cars through on board now with Jamie right behind Big C now going through this swooping right hand up, absolutely flat out. And these guys obviously all on slower compounds, so the grip won't be as good as those guys up front on these slow tyres, especially those on the mediums. But cutting back to the front now, and Aarava actually losing a little bit of time to Nervo Tank, so maybe a little bit of a mistake, and maybe in one of the corners we missed. But now Ali K is putting him right under pressure here, and also Clarkey also very close. Well. So all these guys very, very close, and all within a second. And to quote you, Aarava, you can put a blanket all over all 4 of these guys right now. So they're all absolutely incredibly close on track right now.
I can confirm you can definitely put a blanket over all of them. You can see there Ali closing up on Aarava, and Clarkey also doing the same. You can see his teammate Jaythorn, actually Aarava's teammate Jaythorn closing up on Clarkey. So the Red Bulls trying to make a charge on the respective counterparts up ahead of them. And so as we go down on towards lap 4, it's all very, very close here. Lap 5 actually now. You can see the top 7 all on the same straight still, and all in the same shot. Lovely to watch it and great to witness compared to the real life Formula 1. And here we go. I think it may be Ali trying to get a bit of a toe in slipstream. He's got DRS wide open. He may have a look. He was trying to, as hard as he could, to try and get some slipstream. Resi trying his hard to kind of weave around to break that toe there down that main straight. And Jaythorn's still there. And as we cut back now, we've got Super Scrub in the Sauber making a move down the inside of H Racing. He's on the mediums, H Racing on the soft tyres. And he goes for a switchback move round the outside. They go side by side through the left-hander. Lovely to watch. Will he try and keep it around the outside? No, he won't, but he'll go for a switchback of his own. He's got great traction on the medium tyres. He'll go into the Sector 2 section, and he's got it down the inside. Great. Oh, no, he's lost the back end. He's lost the back end. It's not over there. So Super Scrub tried to make that move, nearly pulled it off. Lost the back end. He's actually ended up losing 3 positions there. Is now under pressure. And we can see this Impele in the Force India there, losing grip. I think he's lost some time. There may have been some contact there. I'm not too sure. But he's struggling down in 18th place. But wow, what a little move Super Scrub tried to make. Shame for him that lost the back end there. And you can see Nervo Tank now still feeling the pressure from Resi. So good to see that for us as viewers, obviously, that Nervo Tank's not getting away from Resi. And he's trying his hardest to catch up on the back of him through the final corner. Looks like to maybe be close enough for maybe second bite of the cherry move, potentially. As they're going to turn 1. Nervo Tank will actually maybe go a bit defensive. Resi has a tiny look through turn 1, though. Will we see him get enough? Just looks like he doesn't get enough of a good enough exit speed on that first turn, Tom, to get enough to get him.
Yeah, well, the ice is enabled now, but I don't think he's actually close enough, and he's trying to do a lot of weaving, maybe to try and put Nervo Tank off, but obviously we know Nervo Tank, you know, his credibility is there, and it's all there to be seen. His record speaks for itself. But I'm just going back on what you said previously. I believe Desin Pele might have been tangled in a turn 1 incident, hence why he was so far behind on track. And
in the background, J Thorn goes down the inside of the Sauber. It's a brilliant little move into the beginning of Sector 2. It just gets him in the same place where Super Scrub was battling away. You got the other Sauber, Clarky, going hammer and tong with J Thorn, and J Thorn does keep it there just about. Lovely little move there in the background as you were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Desin Pele caught up.
Clarky again, all out of shape there on the exit of the corner, but J Thorn and Clarky just dropping behind the top 3 now. Obviously, the rhythm of these guys is absolutely incredible, and it's going to be quite something special to see the top 7 that we saw at the start of the race stick together. But now you're starting to see the real guys who really have to pace today, really starting to put the hammer down, and Resi not letting Nervo Tank get away here. And it's actually quite good to see that, you know, we've got a bit of competition here, as now Resi's trying to prepare himself for a move on Nervo Tank, but you can really see Nervo gets some great traction out the corners, and he's not really giving Resi a chance to really get in the slipstream. But now lap 6, you know, a few more laps and we are going to be near the pit stop window territory, I believe. But we're going to see now DRS wide open. Can Nervo maybe get forced maybe into a mistake by a race? It's going to be quite interesting to see. But Nervo Tank, you know, currently doing his thing, taking the page out of Lewis Hamilton's book, representative of the helmet that he's probably wearing, because obviously Lewis Hamilton quite a good driver in terms of controlling the races in real life and just managing the gap. But I think Racing's not close enough, and no, he isn't. Once again,
yeah, just again,
Nervo Tank just stays in the lead for another lap. But right now, the top 4, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Mercedes, and you know, the early prediction was that these 2 teams could be the teams to beat this season. But
we're looking at a replay now of the start from Clarky's on board. So into turn 1, round the outside of the Renault car of Alex. Nice little move into turn 1, actually. They still go side by side. You can see up ahead how much pressure Nervo Tank was putting straight away on Aresi there. And so Clarky, this is how he got into P4. Good braking. You can see there Nervo Tank all over the back of Aresi, and then Clarky gets that inside line, gets the better line. And then this was Walsh in one of the Haas cars from 12th place. Cloud of smoke ahead of him here on the replay, but he's just trying to maybe suss out where he can go, and maybe we can see, is there any sort of incident? There was a yellow flag briefly at the start.
Inside. I think we got tangled, and there it is.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is. I had a feeling it might have been him, and there you go, confirmation, because obviously he started in 10th place, so the fact he was so far behind, that speaks for itself.
Yeah, 19th place now, so yeah,
there he is. We're on board with him now, so there's a contact, and he's going to have to go nice and long on those medium tyres to try and have any chance of getting back in this race. Just got to try and drag those tyres out and try and go as long as you can. But now, I just said a minute ago, pit stop window time, and here we go. We've got the first couple of people in the pits, and we've got Clarky, and I believe that's Alex now battling down the pit lane, trying to make sure that you don't speed the pit lane. Very important here, obviously, in this F1 game. Obviously, you know, you break yourself now into the pit lane, so you can get a penalty if you speed. But it's going to be a good little pit stop battle here between the Renault and Sauber crew. But we get cut away to some action as Aresi is now attacking Nervo Tank now into turn 3. So maybe Nervo Tank's starting to struggle on those super soft tyres a little bit, and Aresi maybe feeling the benefit of keeping his tyres in a little bit better than him. And these two literally so close, and like I said, once again, just fitting a blanket over the two of them. Just incredible action, how close they've been the entire race so far. And it looks like Alex didn't get the jump on Clarky by the look of it. So the Sauber crew doing a good job of keeping Clarky just ahead of the Renault there.
Yeah, so it looks like, as you said, there's been a crash. J Thorn's out. The second Red Bull is out. Terminal damage. Looks like he crashed in the same place where famously Pastor Maldonado crashed back in 2012 when he was chasing Alonso. J Thorn, really unfortunate. I'm guessing maybe lost some traction. The safety car has been called out because of that. So I'm guessing that was a traction issue potentially. Maybe got on the curbing. We'll hopefully get a look at a replay there. But safety car's been called out. So that's going to play into the hands potentially of Nervo Tank 1. That was under pressure from Resi. But also all the people that just pit.
Yeah, Clarky and Alex just going to play beautifully into their hands. As you can see, we're running board with Alex now. But if they're going fast enough and they obviously they can have a bit of a quicker delta than the guys ahead, then this could be very tasty for these two, and they could actually be in a very good position because they obviously they dropped off the pace of the leaders, but they weren't that far behind. So we have to wait and see. But now we've got the top 3 coming to the pit, and I believe Mercedes is going to have to stack, which is unfortunate for them. So
yep.
I don't think it's going to be any naughty tactics, unlike real life in the Bahrain Grand Prix.
No, I don't. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Here.
It's going to be the simple double stack there. But yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate for Ali. But taking one for the team, I guess he definitely couldn't afford to continue going on. But yeah, Clarkey there, maybe gaining some positions, and Alex as well. I mean, we've known from the previous season, we saw that Clarkey and Alex were trying to, fight the likes of Nerva Tank and had to use strategy maybe to their advantage. Alex as well was known for his good strategy back in the last season, season 12. He was the runner-up in last season, and he was a standout person for strategy calls. So he got a little bit lucky there with the safety car, but it's playing to his hands a little bit. He's in 7th place on mediums, and obviously he hasn't been pushing at all on those mediums because as soon as he came out, the safety car got called out. So in P9 will that be at the moment? No, that's his teammate RBOS in 7th place, and then he was out there in 9th. But safety car going to go for a few laps, I guess, in this game. Unfortunately, it keeps on going for 3 laps, even though there's probably no point for it. But, the FIA, I think the Codemasters guys, simulated it quite nicely. FIA don't like to, they don't take risks. They want to keep the safety car out as long as they can. So this will definitely help all the one-stoppers out that are going for the super soft medium strategy, because it just helps their medium tyres go that little bit longer. Anyone trying a 2-stop maybe didn't like this safety car coming out, probably.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit of an awkward one because I think personally they're going to have to do around 20 laps on these mediums, some of them, and you've got to see, we can see a few people like Big C there and also Jamie there on a soft and a super soft. So 3 different strategies going on at the moment, but 20 laps is still a long way to take a set of medium tyres around here, where tyre wear, I wouldn't say it's major, but it's definitely noticeable. So I think there might be a few more tyres at the end. I think people might generally struggle quite a bit, but I'm thinking now this is really not going to do any favours for the guys who started on, for example, soft tyres. I think those on mediums might be okay for a little while, but the ones that started on soft tyres, for example, might be in a bit of a sticky situation. So I guess they can maybe switch over to a medium and try and drag it to the end of the race. But we've got a bit of a mixed grid there, and as you can see, RBOS, for example, and the Red Bull staying out a little bit longer. I don't know if he's pit on. I'm going to guess he hasn't. So he's getting a few places, but he might be a sitting duck on the restart there. So also, the likes of, for example, Wooly still in the mediums, still doing a pretty good job. But we've got a replay of the incident here
now,
and
so this will be the Red Bull
and Ferrari fan under investigation here. So let's just see what happened.
Right, so this is the Red Bull. Oh, yeah, just as I said, a little bit on the curb. Traction, his tyres were poor. You saw on the bottom right, tyres going off the cliff a little bit on 67%. Generally towards 70%, that's when you're going to start feeling the effects of tyre wear there on this game. So Jay Thorne, really unfortunate, not the way he would have wanted to start this season. So he's just going to have to kind of brush himself off and come back for the next round, unfortunately for him. But yeah, that investigation was, I'm guessing that was for the turn 1 incident, correct? On lap 1, I'm guessing?
No, because that involved this in Pele. I believe it. I'm trying to think, have we actually seen this one, or has this been something else elsewhere on track? But it may have been for the turn 3 one when he went up the inside and went into the grass.
Perhaps, yeah. We'll have to see later on. Maybe we can see a replay, or we'll get to know after the race, maybe if there's any proceedings afterwards. Of course, the stewards can do some penalties if there needs to be post-race, so we'll have to kind of update you on that at the very end of this race. But here we go. I think we're still staying behind the safety car. One more lap, I think.
Yeah, one more lap.
Yeah, one more lap, unfortunately. God damn it, FIA.
A bit more filler commentary needed for the next lap or so.
Yeah, so maybe we could do some bird watching. Maybe there's a wild coot on the apex somewhere. I'm not too sure. But yeah, the FIA taking uber safety and maybe taking their sweet time to collect Jay Thorne's car here. But we can see the Ferrari, I think, is that Big Shot or Big C? I think that might be Big C in 8th place. That is Big C.
Yeah, Big C,
He's really gained a lot, and that's what he was really great at last season. It was actually his rookie season last season, season 12, and that was what he was known for, avoiding accidents. Not having the ultimate pace to be right up there, but avoiding all the accidents, actually having very clean races, and just basically simply gaining a lot of positions through that. And once again, maybe, is able to jump up these positions this race. In 8th place, he finds himself in that lone Ferrari there, just behind Alex, who hasn't gained too much really from that safety car. We thought he may have gained some more. And Clarkey as well in 5th place. That's pretty much where he was beforehand. So yeah, just we go through this next lap. We've got Nova. I'll give you a little rundown. Nerva Tank in 1st place, Resi 2nd, Ali in 3rd, then RBOS in the first Renault in 4th place, Clarkey 5th, and that's Sauber. Then you got 6th place. I can't actually quite tell who that is.
It's Shelley, who he actually started 16th. So a great start from him. Obviously, he hasn't pitted. I believe he's on the soft tyres, which is one of the people who have said those on softs might be a bit of a dodgy strategy situation because obviously he's right on the dodgy crossover point in terms of tyre life. But still, he's in 6th place. You know, he's on a pretty warm soft tyre, but who knows? He maybe might be able to drive that car through a few more laps and then try and switch over to a medium tyre. Then obviously we've got Alex in 7th place and then a Big C. And then we also got, we've got a pretty interesting grid here, and also a few different strategies. Obviously the tyres, you've got Jamie also in there in 9th place in the McLaren Honda, and also Woolley in the top 10 on the medium tyres.
Both Manners. Both Manners have done really stellar jobs to get up there. You know, Woolley obviously from last, and also Shelley was only, I think, in 16th place on the grid. So here we are for the restart, though. Looks like maybe Nervo Tanks is slightly backing them up. He did go a little bit, and he's going to back them up a little bit more as we get on towards this safety car restart. Just about when he really starts to put the pedal down, still slowing them up as we go through to the second last corner. I suspect he may go a little bit early here through into the apex. Yes, he's gone now. He's bolted, trying to get away as much as he can through obviously a very tricky final corner here, Australia, the traction zone central there for the Australian Grand Prix, but he's had a pretty decent getaway there. Aresi trying his best to keep in the slipstream, and he obviously will gain some in the slipstream as well. Ali there, right in the background, pressurising through turn 1 though. Looks like Novatank's had an absolute beautiful turn 1 there to get the gap, and maybe Ali K, as you can see, he's pressurising Aresi. Aresi trying to break the slipstream yet again, and behind them, Clark in the Sabalt having maybe just a little bit pinch and a look at RBOS, just kind of maybe trying to size them up in the mirrors. These guys looks like they'd like to try and put each other off in the mirrors a little bit. Obviously, such high pressure in these league races, you know, just a little bit of slippery fingers maybe with the controller or the wheel. You never know what could happen if you just try and put them under pressure. But Aresi, as we go into Sector 2, still just there in 2nd place, has been that titanic battle, pressurised battle, I guess you could say, the entire race long so far as we through on the 12 laps gone so far. You can see Big C pressurising Alex potentially in the Renault there. So he's doing a great job on that Ferrari, as I said before.
Yeah, indeed, and obviously he had that little bit of contact earlier on, so I think he might have had an end plate fixed in the pit lane also, so he might have lost a bit more time there. So looking really interesting so far. I think the field's going to start to spread out. Traditionally, you know, when you go on a harder tyre, the field does spread up, and now we've got action here as Clarky goes around the outside of RBOS. Fantastic overtake there, and I believe because RBOS has a pit, you can really notice the difference there in tyres. And now a drive-through penalty there for
Ali. Ali's got a drive-through.
Something's gone on there, so we obviously cut to the POV a little bit too late, and he's serving it now straight away. So has something happened under the safety car, or have you missed something here? But
let's look at a replay. We may see.
Here we go.
As he enters, I think it may be a pit lane entry.
Yep, I think it's probably going to be a speeding by the look of it. Let's wait and see what happens. Oh, he put his foot down just a smidge, I think. Too much.
Oh, that is so unlucky. Wow.
He was green the whole way through, and then he just put his foot down to get that little couple of miles per hour, and he just lost it by just being a bit
we've got
aggressive.
a move here. The McLaren down the inside of the Renault. Sorry, Tom. He's gone off track. He's gone off track onto the grass. That was Jamie.
Really close.
Trying a bit of a dive bomb on Alex. Alex is kind of stayed calm and did a bit of a switchback move as he came back on track. And now we've got a four-way fight there with the Ferrari and the Manor and the McLaren. And then back to the action. We've got Aresi making the move. Potential Novotank down the inside for the lead of the Grand Prix. They'll go side by side for the lead. So close. You can fit a piece of paper between these two cars. And Novotank just about keeps it ahead in first place so far. What a great action this has been. The safety cars actually caught this race alight even more than it was so. And so Aresi now really getting the hammer down to maybe pressurize. He's so close, a lot closer than he was before. So could he get enough slipstream? It looks like Novotank set up his car for a bit more straight line speed than Aresi perhaps, because he keeps on getting these great traction zones and just gets away from him in the DRS region. So again, as we go down, this camera angle's a little bit deceptive of how close they are. I wonder, no, he is close enough. Oh my god, he's gone for it. Aresi down the inside into this hairpin style corner. Novotank around the outside.
It's so close. Oh my days. And I just want to say, Clarky's at the fast up of the race, so he's going to be getting on the action soon. And Novotank doesn't have a rear gunner in LEK because of the penalty. So this is all action. This is all systems going now, and full on action as Aresi is trying to take the lead of the race here at Australia from Novotank, who at the moment seems to be severely under pressure from Jim Aresi, and also Clarky is really starting to catch up to the back of these two. But here we go, coming back further back now to the Manor. I believe this is I want to say this is possibly Woolley.
I think it's Woolley, it's Woolley. It's Woolley right behind Big C, and the Ferrari car is losing the back end a little bit, but the top three are covered by 0.3 of a second less than that, so absolutely amazing. But we can see as they go through that chicane, Aresi potentially getting a good exit. Clarky, as you mentioned, Tom, on the back of him, may get enough slipstream to make a move. Clarky goes for it. He's going to go around the inside for second place. Beautiful move for Clarky there. He's into second. Will Aresi come back? Looks like he will try it, but no, he just has to sit back. But Absolute titanic battle. It's set alight, and Clarkey out of nowhere on the safety car restart now fancies himself. He's on the soft tyres actually though.
Yeah, there it is. That's why.
So that is going to be the difference in pace there. Soft tyre versus the medium. So Clarkey actually does have to get a move on, and he'll want to actually overtake Nervatank. He has to overtake Nervatank to make his more aggressive strategy work out, because Nervatank and Aressi, I believe they should be trying to go to the end of this Grand Prix. So Clarkey really does have to get a move on. I wonder, will Nervatank kind of see he's on softs and not put up too much of a fight? There he goes. He said, goes down the inside.
Oh, it's close. Lock up.
So close.
Great defensive driving from the reigning world champion, though. And I think Arezi's going to be praying that Clarkey gets past, and maybe he can try and do a Wally Fox Alonso move, and maybe try and get 2 for 1 and try and start up the inside also of Nervatank there. But Clarkey really putting on a show here in the Sauber Australian now on them soft tyres, and now going further back to, I believe, Alex, who's under pressure from Wooly, who gets all out of shape on the exit, which is going to allow Jamie to try and go around the outside in the McLaren Honda. And loads of action all over the field now, with Big C, I believe, locking up there, and also the Renault of Alex, and action all over the field at the moment. And just the complete different tyre strategies, and everybody on complete different tyres, making this race wide open for action. Now Jamie trying to go up the inside of Wooly. He's going to try and go for the move. It's going to be very close. And wow, brilliant stuff from Wooly there, just holding that around the outside. 10-second car penalty there for Ferrari fan 92. So obviously a collision that we've obviously seen before. It was under investigation. Now the decision has been given.
Here goes the Sauber.
Oh my God,
Super scrub down the inside. It's awesome stuff to witness. Down the inside of Wooly. Great move then. So that was a bit of a Wily or Fox move from Super Scrub there. Saw Wooly napping a little bit as he was fighting Jamie, defending from Jamie, and so Wooly's lost 2 positions there. So great move for Super Scrub. And then back up at the front, we've got Clarkey right up the gearbox of Nervatank yet again. And once again, will he go for the move into first place? And will Aressi be able to use that to his advantage? Here he goes, DRS, slipstream down the inside. And I wonder if Nervatank again, he's going to try and defend as best he can. They go side by side. He'll have the inside line for this next corner once again. But Clarkey this time looking a lot closer. But look at that, the top 4, 5, so close.
Incredible.
So close.
It's just insane to see everybody so close, and RBOS and also Shelley getting on the action here. But this is the battle here between these top 3, because I do feel like RBOS and Shelley might fall off because of the tyre drop off. But obviously the top 3 are on medium for Clarkey, and now once again Nervatank locking up. And I've got to say, the amount of pressure he's really holding this race is absolutely incredible here. And I believe the Renault getting all out of shape on the exit there. But these 5, absolutely incredible action so far this race, and Nervatank really trying to hold these 4 behind him. But they're like literally like a pack of hyenas trying to chase him down here.
Absolutely.
So
look at this, we're on board of Shelley, and look at that, Aressi moving around. It's like literally like a pack of wolves up ahead of Shelley, just kind of getting some popcorn out in the cockpit, probably just watching this. 4 drivers going hammer and tong, and he's trying to join the battle here. I wonder he'll try and overtake RBOS maybe on the main straight, but you can see Clarkey still getting a little bit out of shape there at the back end, but trying to push as hard as he can. All these drivers super on the limit. DRS wide open for Clarkey, and will be Aressi, and maybe a move into turn 1. Nervatank go a little bit defensive. There's Aressi having a late look, but then thinks better of it and tucks in back behind in 3rd place. And once again, I feel like Clarkey's lost some time there, and maybe Aressi will go for a move potentially yet again. Having a look there, but Clarkey did lose some time maybe defending from Aressi on that main straight, but now he's right back up there. But just great that none of these guys are making any mistakes so far, and they're really just keeping this bunched up action, which is something we don't really see in real life Formula 1. So some great action so far, and we've got what is 12 laps left in this Grand Prix, Tom. Clarkey really has to get it done soon, surely.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably going to come in from there. I'm going to guess another super soft to try and get him to the end. So, it's very close. Aressi all out of shape there into the corner, and RBOS right on the back of him here. Great stuff, and it just goes to show they're so close to each other. One little mistake and it's going to trigger chaos. And now RBOS going for a move on Aressi up the inside of the far chicane, and he's going to try and pull it off side by side. Is he going to make this thing? Yes, he does. Oh, incredible move there. I'm just losing the superlatives to describe this, but great action here. And now we've got a side by side once again with Shelley and also Aressi, but just about Aressi manages to hold on there from the Manor driver.
Look at this.
We've got more action elsewhere, as now we've got the Williams trying to go up the inside of the Simpele, and our Super Scrub and Wooly all scrubbing it out for P9, no pun intended. But great stuff here, and I can't keep up with all this action now. It's incredible stuff here.
P9, P10, P11 and P12 all separated by no less than what will probably be 3 tenths. They all slide through, do a bit of Gymkhana through the final corner. Got someone in the pits, I think, there in the background there. DRS wide open for Destin Pile, though, in the Force India, making the move on Super Scrub, who's also catching Wooly. Oh my God, there's been a huge crash there. And Desimpele, who crashed on lap 1, is lost his front wing. Thankfully for him, not completely out of this Grand Prix, but probably his race gone from bad to worse.
Oh,
huge crash there, and that was...
This is going to be one to write off for Desimpele after what happened at turn 1. But look at the replay. Iron Super Scrub, bang, there it is. And, you know, from Iron Super Scrub's point of view, it doesn't look that bad.
It looks a bit of out of sync, Tom, you know what? I think it looks a little bit of connection out of sync, because on Desimpele's screen, it looked like Super Scrub was gaining so much slipstream that he kind of pushed him out and crashed him out. But then on Super Scrub's screen, it doesn't look like that was the case. He definitely didn't look like he felt it at all. So, unfortunately, that is the thing that can come with league racing and online, especially, you know, worldwide as well as AOR is. There can be some desync there a little bit. It looked a little bit out of sync to me, so that's quite unfortunate for both drivers involved. And we'll have to see if the stewards say anything about that. Looks like a bit of a racing incident, really.
In the formation lap that, you know, these sort of things can happen. Online racing, more contact this time, Shelley. And I did say his soft tyres would be starting to feel the wear now, because obviously he started on those tyres and really starting to struggle on them rear tyres. Obviously a track that, you know, it does really punish the rears if you don't have a right setup on the car. And now on board with the Williams, is he going to try and make a move on Woody? He thinks better of it, and RC Wallen decided to stay behind him for the time being. And he actually loses the back end a little bit there, just on the exit of the corner. But he's got DRS wide open now on the Manor drive. Is he going to try and slow one up the inside? He's going to have a look up the inside, side by side into turn 3, and he gets it done. Nice easy move, polishes it off with a nice bit of defensive driving to cover off the switchback from Woolley there, and he's up into PA. It's a good job there from the Williams driver. Woolley not letting this one go just yet, as he's literally pushing him through the corner, and then I go side by side into the next one. Ooh, very close there. I thought for a second the Williams might have swapped in front of Woolley there, but just
he's lost traction.
Yep, massive tank slap on the exit, and Woody goes back up the inside and retakes the position there. So good little scrap between these two drivers here for PA and Woody trying to defend on them soft tyres, but moving back to the main battle, to the main men up front, and Clarkey actually dropping a lot of time now to Nervo Tank, and Nervo doing what he's so famous and known for, and really getting the hammer down now. Australian really getting the gap out, because just he's so consistent. He's just alien pace, and RBO's actually putting Clarkey under pressure, and Arazi actually now really starting to fade a little bit now in this stint, Arav, and just sort of, he looked so promising earlier on, but Nate just sort of lost a bit of pace as
Clarkey's into the pits. Clarkey's in the pits, so he comes in. Obviously, he was on the soft tyres, RBOS on mediums, the same for Aresi. So we said that Clarkey had to maybe try and make the move on Nervo Tank to make his strategy work. So unfortunately for Clarkey, probably got really caught out with the safety car, actually, because he probably didn't kind of plan for that, obviously, and he was going to try the aggressive strategy from the get-go. So now he's got 10 laps remaining on Supersofts. A bit of a slow pit stop, actually, unfortunately for him, 3 seconds there. So now he's got 10 laps to really push on these Supersofts. He's in P12. Let's see by the end of this race if he's back in the points. He may just come out just ahead of I'm Loki. We're not seeing too much of him in the Haas car, I believe. He's on soft tyre, so Clarkey really unfortunate. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, Tom, Aresi dropping off a little bit, and Nervo Tank pretty much just flexing the pace he's had. You know, he's the complete package, they said, from season 12, and now he's really just starting to flex his muscles out in front and just control the race. 9 laps remaining. I think he'll be pretty damn comfortable to take this to the end of the race. It's just about if RBOS can do anything, and really I think it might be a battle between RBOS and Aresi to see who can get second place, as now it looks like Aresi is picking up the pace a little bit, so maybe he was backing up a little bit, saving some tyres, and then starting to push once again, because it looks like he's a little bit closer now to that Renault car.
Yeah, well, it was looking really promising for him, and obviously there was a time when Aresi was actually briefed into the lead when he was going side by side with Nervo Tank, but then obviously just the fact that all the cars are so close to each other, it just triggered a bit of an unfortunate circumstance for him to just drop a few places and lose a bit of time. So anyway, moving back onto the action now and focusing on these 3 guys, and we've got, I believe, both Renaults in respective scraps here. We've got RBOS once again under pressure from Aresi, who's going to have DRS wide open, and RBOS dropping out of DRS from Nervo Tank, so that's going to leave him exposed to the Red Bulls DRS. And as you can see, into turn 1, here goes Aresi up the inside, lock up on the left front, but he gets the move done beautifully, and obviously double DRS means that Aresi haven't moved, and I think Nervo Tank might have made a mistake there. He was very slow at the corner there, so I think Nervo Tank might have made a small mistake, because he looked very slow, knocking up once again. So Nervo Tank, there are some issues, Arav.
Yeah, potentially. I think what ultimately might be the case, there's been a lot of locking up. I think potentially there may be a little snag of just some random lockups from the spectator cam there. But yeah, it certainly maybe lost a tiny bit of time. Ferrari found 92, so that's fast up the Grand Prix. Obviously, he had a 10-second penalty there, so he's getting to move on potentially after serving his penalty, his drive-through. I think that may be. But at the moment, RBS trying to maybe pressurize Aresi back and doing the same basically that was done to him on the previous lap there. And then as we fall back behind, we've got Big C in the Ferrari. We mentioned before now, he's on the Supersoft, so I think he may have made a pit stop because I think he was on the soft tyres potentially, but he's in P11 at the moment, trying to chase down Jamie in the McLaren up ahead, who's ultra trying to maybe make a move on I'm Loki. Maybe goes down the inside. Yes, he does. He goes down the inside of the Haskell. A little bit of contact made. They go side by side. I'm Loki loses the back end. And Big C goes through up into P10, keeping it calm there, trying to stay out of trouble. Goes around the outside of the McLaren. Doesn't work out. Tries to switch back. The McLaren loses some traction there. He's lost some traction, but he controls it beautifully there for the Ferrari driver. And Big C now down the inside towards a high-speed chicane. And this will be for P9. Jamie, what can he do? He's going to try and size up a better line through the high-speed chicane. It's not going to work though. Maybe get some slipstream, but not enough. And I'm Loki now, after that little half spin there and hitting the wall, is coming back into this. But great stuff. And you can just see when a driver makes a mistake in this league so far, it costs them so much, because that's how close the grid is right now at the moment.
Well, qualifying showed that the level in AOR F1 this season on PS4 is absolutely incredible, and it's one of the best drivers in the world, and that's really showing us. Clarkey once again setting the pace on the brand new super soft tyres, and he's right behind Walsh, and then Ali K, who's recovering from his drive-through. And here we go then, Clarkey trying to make a move on Walsh here, side by side with the Haas driver. 2 tyre compound difference here into turn 3. He's going to try and go around the outside on traction alone. Walsh does a great job of holding up the inside, squeezing him a little bit onto the curb there, but Clarkey's having absolutely none of it. And there he goes up the inside into P7. Brilliant stuff there from Clark, and he's now right behind Ali K, who, if you remember earlier on in this race, he was right behind him when the top 7 actually looked with a small pack at the start of the race. So Clark going to be trying to race behind the Mercedes of Ali K, trying to get past him. I believe he's on medium tyres, so Ali K could be a bit of a deficit here, and Clark is going to try and pounce on that like a shark. So
yeah, I think it will be a pretty easy move, I think. Super softs versus mediums. Obviously, quite funny how actually that's worked out, that Clarkey had to make the extra pit stop and Ali obviously had to serve the drive-through. So kind of ironic how they both meet again in the same piece of track, but different situations. And here goes Clarkey. We mentioned it. He's going to have better traction, and he's just going to use that traction all the way down the back straight, and he's going to get it. It looks like a little lockup, but yeah, beautiful little move down the inside, little drift for style on the exit there, but he's got it. And then back up at the front, we've got RBOS with DRS, tries to make a little lunge down the inside, pressurising Aresi once again into turn 1. Lap 23 this will be, opens the second bite of the cherry. Not enough. His tyres are going off a little bit, and that'll be a big thing towards the end of this Grand Prix. It'll all be about which of these drivers can take these very worn medium tyres the best, who can kind of control the tyres, control their cars. You can see losing the rear end there a little bit for RBOS. So just as I mentioned, yeah, it's going to be all about that. And as we move back on board with Wallen, this will be in the Williams car. We've got Ferrari fan who set the fast lap of the Grand Prix earlier on, goes down the inside of I'm Loki, squeezes him out, an absolute treat, and then out of nowhere, Wooly comes through in the Manor car with DRS and just says, thank you very much, I'll take your place there on the Williams car, who's caught napping, and Wooly up the order. So a titanic scrap here, just outside the points. Awesome stuff to watch. And I'm Loki in the Haas, struggling a little bit now, and he's going to have to try and defend from the second Manor car here of Wooly. Will Wooly make a move? Yes, he will. Maybe down the inside into Sector 2. No, just got enough on I'm Loki there. He's just got enough to defend there. But just great scrapping all the way down the field, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to say quickly, racing, I believe Green Racing or H Racing Green, in 5th place in the McLaren there. So he's come out of nowhere. I don't know what strategy he's on, but absolutely brilliant stuff in P5. And he started 19th. The GP2 reigning world champion. So great job from him as we're now back on board with RBOS. He's also had a very impressive race and really making the tyre strategy work here. And he's got DRS wide open on Jimmy Razy once again into turn 1. Obviously not close enough, but he's going to try and set himself up for once again the second bite of the cherry here. Getting a good exit out of that corner actually. DRS wide open, and this is going to be a very good opportunity for him now into turn 3 around the outside. He's going to pull off the move on the brakes. Yes, he does. Runs a little bit deep though, and Racy's going to try and fight back at him here, but RBOS holding the inside beautifully. Racy cutting back on the exit of 4. They're going to go side by side into 5, but RBOS just holds it beautifully into second place. On the grass almost there. Racy trying to get past RBOS, but he just holds it in second place.
Great
and
defending.
That's a fantastic bit of action there, and literally a chopstick between the two cars. So brilliant stuff here, and RBOS taking second place from Jim Racy there.
Yeah, great defending from RBOS. Really great. You know, placed his car exactly where it needed to on the end of Sector 1 there, just to stop Aresi getting that run, which he did have actually through, and as he said, mentioned a little bit on the grass there. So great stuff as he hits the wall a little bit, the Renault. But we've got 5 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. It looks like it may be Novotank's race to lose here, but it's all about who's going to get these podium positions in what order there. And as you mentioned, Alex doing well in 4th place, and then H Racing in 5th out of nowhere. great strategy. We're going to have to certainly look at what strategy he's kind of pulled off and see on the race classification if he maybe tried some kind of interesting one-stop from out of nowhere, but he's done a really great job, the GP2 champion. But we're still on board here with the rest in a nice little sideways cam. He's got DRS wide open, you can see in the mirrors there, and he's going to get the slipstream. Maybe not enough for turn 1, but he's going to close up into turn 1, then if he can get a good apex and then get a good enough exit on this back straight yet again, we'll see. This camera angle, as I mentioned before, very hard to tell how close they are, but it looks like he's going to be close enough to make a pop down the inside. No, he actually just tried the little look. Once again, the camera angle deceives me, but back as we look at Clarkey making a move on Alex, and Clarkey charging through. Obviously, you remember, he made the extra pit stop from soft to super soft, and he's just pummeling these super soft tyres. Rich mix, DRS wide open, second bite of the cherry, and now he'll maybe have his sights on trying to get towards what will be now, will be out, Alex, I think.
Yeah, P4, Alex and P4. Obviously, we did say H Racing Green. Obviously, I've got a feeling he might have been on the tyres for quite a while, and I think he might have pulled off a body strategy thanks to the safety car. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'm going to guess he picked maybe a few laps before the safety car came out. So he got them tyres up the temperature and managed to get some nice inroads on the guys ahead. But definitely, I've got a feeling his tyres might be quite severely worn, and maybe probably the worst for way out of the top 5. But Clarkey obviously on the benefit of those faster tyres, making a nice easy move. But RBOS now looking on board with Aarava. He's starting to get the gap out a little bit to Aarava, so maybe RBS just starting to really get the hammer down on those medium tyres and try and bring the car home for second place. Would be a brilliant second place for Renault, in my opinion, and he's doing a fantastic race so far today.
Yeah, I think for the Renault guys, I think probably one of the stronger kind of double pairings if you look at both drivers as a unit, RBOS and Alex. You know, Alex, the runner-up of last season, RBOS known for being very good in the wet, actually, so we'll have to see what happens later on the season when there is some rain to come. But I think the Renault guys are a strong pairing, also the Red Bull guys equally. So I think this may be a bit of a Titanic strap all season long between the two teams, respectively. Red Bull with obviously J Thorne, unfortunate first race for him, crashing out, but Aarava showing how strong he is. So both those teams probably fighting each other for kind of the strongest pairing mantle and title there. As we move on to the fight back down to 8th place, this is Big C, who I mentioned before was doing very well now, making a move on super soft tyres down the inside of Ali K, who Tom mentioned earlier, maybe struggling on the mediums, having to go long since serving the penalty. A little bit of sideways action.
Contact. Ali K's almost in the wall. Yes, he is. He's lost an end plate, so Ali K losing an end plate, and that's going to compile the misery for him this race. And one time was looking so promising for a podium, and now he's way down the order and obviously missing an end plate. So that's probably, I think he might get away with a pit stop if he just nurses the car home. But I've got a feeling the damage might be bad enough for him to. It might be bad enough to force him into a pit stop. But just resuming back to the action here, RBOS once again under pressure from Aarava, and Aarava, I think one last crack of the whip here before the end of the race, going to try and crank up the pressure severely here on RBOS. And there's a question of will he get him in the DRS zone down the pit straight, because obviously that is the main overtaking zone around this circuit. So let's just wait and see what happens here between these two. But it looks like no overtaking, like you said, Aarava, it's his race to lose. He's holding the lead quite comfortably, and he has set some incredible lap times like only he can. And now it's a battle between these two drivers for second place on the podium. Here we go then. DRS wide open down the pit straight.
Slipstream. DRS wide open. Here he goes for the move down the inside of turn 1. He'll have it. He'll try and squeeze out Aarava. He'll try and squeeze out RBOS. Sorry, I should say. Aarava doesn't get the best exit actually, because now RBOS is coming back at him without DRS. Aarava the one with DRS wide open, but RBOS late brake round the outside. Oh, no!
Contact! No!
Contact! And Aarava looks like
very
may
nasty.
slow down. I'm not too sure. That was very, very weird. That was a very weird collision. I almost want to say, Tom, I don't know if you remember it, but that was a little bit reminiscent of the sidewall glitch, but this time it was a sidewall glitch for the tyres as they banged tyres.
Yeah, throwback, absolutely. Just, one of them old glitches back in the day. But I think RBOS can cut his lucky stars there, because he seemed to get a second bite of the cherry in terms of a rebound that set him, he's basically straightened him right up. But focusing on this action, I'm further down the field, and we're on board with Ferrari fan in the Force India. I didn't see much of him this race, obviously, because he had the 10-second penalty, but he's right behind Shelley and Jamie. So maybe on the card some late points for the Force India driver. Going to try and maybe go for a move here, but he thinks better of it and sits behind Shelley for now. But these three guys obviously scrapping for the low end of the points, but every point matters in AOR F1, especially for the constructors mainly, because obviously you want to try and get those points for the team. But as you can see, just for also team pride, you want to be the main driver in the team. And as you can see, Shelley there, a bit of right front wing damage he's trying to nurse. So maybe that explains why he's dropped a little bit through the field, even though he's on super soft tyres. So also the tyres there, 46% on the left front. So obviously struggling for a little bit of tyre wear here. And he's right behind Jamie. He's giving some dirt here just to, really compile the misery here. So obviously Shelley going to struggle to get past Jamie in the McLaren. But Jamie's teammate, once again, H Racing Green, still holding P6 there. So this could go from, I believe, a P18, P9, P19 race start to a double points finish from McLaren Honda at this race. That would be absolutely fantastic for them. And just a bit of another caveat to what we said before, I believe Nervo and also Ali K, another strong driver pairing to add on to the Renault and Red Bull team, because obviously those two were first and third this race at one point. But now going on board with Shelley once again. Is he going to try and go for a move on Jamie here up the inside of turn 1? He's got the measure of him into the braking, and he pulls off the move quite simply into turn 1. But now this time we're going to try and go for a bit of a Jimmy Racing style move there. And even though he doesn't have DRS, he's going to try and go for a second pop of the cherry into turn 3. No, he can't. He thinks better of it. Shelley for the time being has got P9 in the bag. And also can't forget about Ferrari fan, who's looking very dangerous just behind the pair of these.
Yeah, Ferrari fan had a lot of pace on the opening of his stint, saying fast up the Grand Prix earlier on the Grand Prix after his penalty. So he may be just kind of sitting back and waiting for the opportunity. With only 2 laps to go, though, he's not got too much time. But here comes Aresi in second place. RBOS still chasing him down. But with about a lap and a half left of this Grand Prix, I'm not sure if he has enough time or not. And then behind them is Alex, who's got up into 4th place, with Clarkey just pulling through as people had to make their pit stops. Big C up into 6th place then, and H Racing down in 7th. So Big C must have overtaken him there. And so now we've got Clarkey getting right on the back of Alex, actually. So there may be a last-minute move here for Clarkey and Alex. So we mentioned before that they were battling at the very start of the Grand Prix. Then both of them obviously had their fortunes, and then are back here once again, right behind one another. So this may be a last lap move as we go on towards, I believe this will be now final lap 29 of the Australian Grand Prix. Here goes Clarkey into the last lap, turn 1. Clarkey goes down the inside of Alex, and he's got up the positions, and it looks like Alex may be struggling somewhat, but he's going to try and keep it as tight as he can through turn 1. He's got a good exit, so will he go for the move down the inside?
Yellow
he
flags.
maybe tries.
It's yellow flags. No way through there. I can see the flashing light. Yellow flags. Obviously, the car on the right hand side is retired, and look at the heart of I'm Loki, who we saw retired just a few seconds ago. So obviously that's restricting Alex from a second pop of the cherry on re-overtaking Clarkey there. So this battle could be in for a very tense finish here.
Yeah, last sector may be all to play for here. Alex still there, right behind Clarkey. You can see if we go back to the other two, the Renault and the Red Bull, and then there's Novotank in a world of his own. Obviously, you know, the reigning world champion. I think it would have been a good prediction, I think you would say, at the very beginning of this race, that he would have been the one to be up the top. Obviously, didn't get pole position, but he did the job straight away in the first stint, and then he's really not looked any worse than that. So he goes through the second last corner, through the final corner. So this will be to kick off season 13 in the best way possible for Novotank. The reigning world champion will get his first win of season 13 and win the Australian Grand Prix. Congratulations to Novotank. Great drive for him. Very controlled. And there's Aresi in second, and RBOS so close there, but finishes up in 3rd place. That'll finish off the podium. And then Clarkey is in 4th place. Alex in 5th, unable to get there. And Clarkey, actually, to be fair, Tom, I wasn't too sure if he's going to do it on the Superstars, but he's come through there. And Big C, as I mentioned earlier, one driver that maybe doesn't have the complete pace, but avoids all the accidents and gets through for a great 6th place. And H Racing Green, great finish for him.
Brilliant,
a great finish for both McLarens, indeed.
Yeah,
great, as you said.
Double
Both
McLaren. So
from
18th and 19th on the grid, absolutely incredible turnaround for the Woking team, who in real life are struggling, and obviously here a bit of a poor qualifying and
a race
Ali
to
K.
forget for Ali K. Really unfortunate. You mentioned before, actually, that, yeah, true, it's the Renault, Red Bull guys and the Mercedes guys, all 6 of those drivers, such strong pairings together. And it's going to be one battle to really watch out for. But here you can see Clarkey in 6th place, and Ali K was in 7th, and this is a replay of him losing a bit of his end play there. And so this is a bit of a highlight reel of his bad luck throughout this entire race. Lap 26, this is the move that we didn't see a replay of, and this was actually Big C. He lost the back end. Yeah. And he got so unlucky. It's a complete racing incident, I feel. Very unlucky for Ali K. Just, you know, Big C lost the back end, controlled it fine, and it's just Ali K that got caught up in it, unfortunately, there. But that is the race. What a thrilling one that's been for the first race of the AOR Season 13 Championship. But let's now take you through the race results. So as you saw there, Novotank in 1st place in the Mercedes, the reigning world champion there, winning the first round of the season. Jim Aresi in 2nd place, RBOS in the 1st, Renault in 3rd place. His teammate Alex backs him up in 4th place there, after actually some penalties have been applied for Clarkey there. Clarkey gets a 3-second penalty, you can see, by the yellow number, so Clarkey moves down to 5th. So a really strong finish there in the end then for the Renaults. I mentioned it, maybe one of the strongest pairings, questionably, so a really strong finish for them. Big C doing a great job in 6th place with the medium soft and the super soft strategy, so the super soft runners doing well at the end there. Big C in 6th, and then there, as we mentioned at right at the end, the first McLaren, H Racing, doing brilliantly. The GP2 champion, maybe showing some of his pedigree there and some racecraft and some good strategy to come come home in 7th. Walsh in the first, Haas in 8th place. Jamie then in the second, McLaren finishing up the double points finish for McLaren in 9th place. And then Shelley in the first, Manor in 10th place, also doing a good job, you know, considering where he was on the grid. And fast lap of the Grand Prix from Clarkey there, showing that super soft pace. Unlucky that he got the penalty there, but that's the top 10.
Yeah, and absolutely just incredible race. And looking at the second half of the table, we do have Woolley, who really put on a good show today in the Manor car. Absolutely fantastic job from him, and at one time looking really promising considering he started from the back of the grid there. So good job from him today with a 3-second penalty added to his time. Then Ferrari fan 92 with a couple of penalties today, and then a final 5-second penalty added to his final time with a 3-stop strategy. So a lot of tyres going on that force in their car today, with RC Wallen in 13th place in the Williams. So not a bad race with him today. You know, he had a few moments today, but I think he probably would have wished he would have been a little bit higher up the grid. Luckily for him, no penalties whatsoever, and that's going to keep him ahead of the very unlucky Ali K, who had a really poor race today. And you know, I think want to forget for him, and hopefully he'll try and bounce back for the next race, and hopefully come back better and stronger than today. But still for him, no penalties for himself, so very good clean race from him. And then Big Shot player also, you know, being quiet, really just, you know, not really much to say about him today. You know, Big C, his teammate, really put on a show today, and they just didn't really have to pace today, unfortunately. And then Desmond Paley in P16, also a race to forget for him on a 4-stop strategy, a lap down and a 6-second time penalty to really add to his misery there. So once again, if we talk about ADK, also Desmond Paley, a race to forget for himself there. And then I'm Loki in P17, who also retired 2 laps from the end, and I believe there's a little bit of contact there. We saw the debris on track. And then finally Jay Thornton, who retired earlier on in the race after a very unfortunate incident. And then Jim 90X team being disqualified in this Grand Prix, and also I Super Scrub also being disqualified there. So a very unfortunate one for those guys, but overall a very good race here, Aarava.
Yeah, very, very good one. Obviously, the Drivers' Championship is going to be the same as it ended on the race, but the Constructors is going to be a very interesting thing to look at. As I mentioned, Renault, you know, a very, very strong pairing here, and they lead the Constructors by 2 points to Mercedes. Obviously, Mercedes only having no overtake, scoring those 25, so... yeah, you know, the Renault, Mercedes, Red Bull in the top 3. Red Bull there, 18 points. So... just literally as I mentioned, you know, those 3 I think is going to be a great battle. I hope if it stays as close as it was on track, and you know, we have people like Ali K not having such a misery of a race as he had today, this entire championship could be a great 3-way scrap between these 3 top teams, it looks like. And then a midfield battle between Sauber, Ferrari, the Ferrari Works team there, and then the surprise out of nowhere, McLaren's. You know, you would have thought, if you're looking back at the grid, Tom, that McLaren weren't in it with the GP2 champion, but both of them done a great job to get back up there, level on points with Ferrari, 5th and 6th there, just behind Sauber with 10 points, so 2 points only ahead. Then Haas in 7th place, 4 points, and then Manor finish off the point scoring teams in 8th place. But you can already see a little bit of pan. The top 3, then a little bit of midfield battle between Sauber, Ferrari, McLaren, maybe Haas potentially. Then you got Manor, Force India, Williams potentially. But also, it's the first round, you know, tensions are quite high, you know, jitters, some mistakes, some unfortunate incidents. It's only the first round. There's a lot to go in this very long season, but you know, from what we've seen today, Tom, I think we're going to be pretty out of breath by the time we've commentated all these races, because it was great stuff to watch.
Yeah, it's been an absolute cracker here at Australia. I've got to say, a very good race for, I believe, you and me to make our return to AOR, and just overall have the privilege of commentating this brilliant race, and a really, really enjoyable one. And hopefully the next race is even better still, so I thoroughly look forward to that one. And hopefully we're back very soon, and hopefully we have yet another cracking race like this one, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very exciting. But there you go. Nervo Tank, the reigning world champion from season 12, shows off why he's maybe the world champion, as he starts the season off with a bang in the way he wanted to get that win, and just a great race all round. But yeah, we will see you guys next time. If you did enjoy this video, then smash that like button, guys. League Racing, well, there you go. AOR absolutely put on a showcase for us today with the PS4 side. Let us know what you thought of that race in the comments below. Who are you rooting for in this season? Did you have any favourites? Let us know what you thought about anything that happened in that video today. If you're new around here, then do go check out all the people that worked on this video, guys. It wasn't just myself and Tom. We've got a whole team on this PS4 video side. So check out all the editors and everything like that, and all the races in the comments below. They'll be linked, the editors and everything like that. So thank you to them for putting on a great edited video. And yeah, so that is it. We'll see you guys next time for AOR F1 2016 Season 13, the Bahrain Grand Prix, Round 2 of this season. Hopefully you guys looking forward to that. I know I am, and I think Tom is as well. So we see you guys then. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Till next time, goodbye.